Okay, so this is we're going to share about 10 biblical principles of financial planning. We have extract all this information actually from the Bible, and I believe I believe managing finances and finances is actually part of our life. And I think we manage everything, it should be from the Bible. Even living our lives, even working, it should be from the Bible. It's like drinking water, like I shared earlier. When you drink bubble tea, when you drink coffee, when you drink tea, the base is still water. So it basically our life, when we live different roles, we do different things, we have to base on the Bible because that's the basics of our lives. Okay, so we're going to talk about 10 biblical principles. And so before that, let's talk about money. Okay, and is money evil? This is a very commonly asked question and commonly confused questions. A lot of people say money is evil, but actually in the Bible it says that money is not evil. So a lot of people avoid talking about money. But the more the less we talk about money, the less we know about money, the less we know how to manage them. So let's break this taboo today and let's talk very deep into it. Okay, and because in the Bible it says, for the love of money is a root of all kind of evil. So it's actually the love of money is a problem. Money itself is not a problem. Money is a tool, nothing more, nothing less. Like I shared before, if you are a jerk with a lot of money, you are a rich jerk lah. So if you are when you are someone, you're a jerk with very poor, you're just a poor jerk lah. So that doesn't change who you are. Okay, money is just a tool. So it's very essential to know to have good tools, but more important to know how to use them. So let's discover how to use them. Okay. So our principle number one, principle A, administrator, not owner. Okay. So these are things that we have to understand before we know how to manage them. Okay. So in Psalms 24 verse 1, it says, "The earth is the Lord's and all its fullness, from the world and those who dwell therein." So meaning that everything on this world is actually our Father God. Even the money that we hold today, okay, even the goals we have, even the house we have, even the car we have, is all God's. It's not ours. Because when we die, we go back to the ground and we cannot bring it with us. Okay, so acknowledge and accept that everything we have is everything we think we own is not ours. It's very important to know that, because there's these different responsibilities between administrator and an owner. So most of you are working here, right? So when you're working for a company that you don't own, you are actually like an administrator. So you are actually accountable to your boss, which is the owner of the company. So imagine that when you are just an administrator, you are working in there and something happens to your life and something happens to your work that is beyond your control and it's beyond your power to make decisions. So what we do, we throw it back to the owner. Imagine just like our lives, even our finances. So when we have faced troubles in finance, of course, we have the accountability. We have to do it to manage it well. But when it's beyond our control, we have the liberty to throw it back to God, because we know that that is our owner, and He will give us just like in the Bible, the master gives the servant talents, each of them three servants, each of them a talent. So they are responsible to use the money wisely in their power. So when the masters come back, we give it back to the master. It's just like God and us in this sense. So we have to acknowledge that, because if we think we are the owner, we will hold on so tight to it, and we will do it in our way. We will do it according to our will. Okay, so it's very important to know our identity and seek for what the owner wants instead of what we want, because the owner knows the company better. The owner knows the direction better. So we are the administrator. We have the accountability to God. So very important today, no matter how much money you have in the bank, no matter how much money you have in the wallet, no matter how much money you're going to make in the future, it's not yours. It's God's. So when we have that sense of administrator, we know that this belongs all to God. Okay. So before when we go into next principle, I'm gonna pass to Carlo. Carlo is gonna share with us principle B, principle C, and D. So Carlo.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Avante. So I'm gonna share for the subsequent 3 points. So budget. Okay. So B for budget. So budget is very, very important. Okay. Everybody talk about this one. So okay. Maybe participate a bit. How many of you have a budget written down? If you have a budget written down, you type 1. If you do not have a budget written down, you type 0. There's no right or wrong answer. Just know your status only. How many of your budget written down? 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0. Okay, so if you have a budget written down, tell me, right, where do you write your budget? Is it in a Google Sheet? Is it in a notebook? Is it in your brain? Okay, tell me where you write your budget. Oh, negative 0, 0, 0. Okay, interesting. Okay, so budget is very, very important, you know. I write my budget in a Google Sheet, okay? Because I will never lose the Google Sheet, okay, unless Google shut down. Okay, budget. I work in an e-commerce company before. If people do not budget, right, normally you will do impulse spending. Okay, I tell you, Malaysian, right, really like to spend one, you know, really like to spend. Normally, I work in a company before. What we do is like this, we plan for about 2,000 air fryer. 2,000 air fryer, and we need to sell it off, right, in 1 hour. We plan, right? Then we do the marketing. In 1 hour, 2,000 air fryer finish. One air fryer is 199 ringgit. So in 1 hour, we make 500,000, you know. It's as simple as that because people really like to spend, and Malaysia is really like to spend one. So if you do not budget, right, if suddenly you see a very good marketing gimmick, you will just spend. So budget will tell you how do you control your money. So budget is very important. So in Proverbs chapter 21, verse 5, it says, the plans of the diligent lead surely to plenty, but those of everyone who is hasty surely to poverty. Okay, maybe you think, okay, I spend one air fryer will not lead me to poverty. But if you keep on doing like that, right, it becomes a habitual, it becomes your lifestyle eventually, then probably your pocket will always empty, you know. So how do you do a budget? There's a few steps here, but I just want to summarize the step, okay? List down all your income, whether it's your passive income or your active income, right? List it down. And then after that, okay, later slide, I will share more about details here, but you need to list out also your expenses. Okay, and then you categorize whether this is fixed expenses or variable expenses. Okay, expenses also included your time and saving. Later, let me share details later on. Of course, you need to prioritize on this one you need to spend, this one you don't want to spend, right? And you need to prioritize based on money expenses and also annual expenses, right? And then okay, you know why people never stick to the budget? Because they never follow the budget Okay, they write one time, then they forget about it. So you need to keep on going back to your budget. Okay, probably you go back to your budget, review every month or every quarter, or every half a year. Okay, so when do I review my budget normally? I review my budget, right, when a few things happen. Number one, I have a new commitment. Suddenly I buy a car, right? Things will change. I need to rearrange my commitment, right? Suddenly, right? Okay, now I graduated. I need to pay my PTPTN already. My budget need to rearrange. Oh, suddenly I got a girlfriend. Oh no, okay, you're a girlfriend, you're a boyfriend, right? You need to spend extra, right? You may need to rearrange. So whatever it is, whatever budget that you have written, stick to your budget, okay? But a lot of people cannot stick to the budget. And I'll tell you why later on, right? So later slide, I will tell you why people cannot stick to the budget. And I'll tell you one simple solution. It will solve all your problem forever. One solution solve forever, okay? This is how I solve it. Very simple. Actually, the solution very simple. So, okay, I want to talk a little bit about emergency fund. Now, emergency fund is something like this. Emergency fund is something like this. Emergency fund is only being used during emergency. Okay, let me repeat. Emergency fund is only being used during emergency. And let's define emergency here. Okay, emergency here means only when you lose your job, then only you touch this emergency fund. If it depending on your industry, just now I think someone say, right, you want to venture into oil and gas industry. For oil and gas industry, right, normally we recommend you to build an emergency fund of 24 months. 24 months. Okay, I'm not in oil and gas, but based on my research, some people, they really build an emergency fund for 24 months, you know. So why? Because the industry is volatile. The retrenchment is very high. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not in oil and gas, but I have a lot of friends, they're from UTP, then they're in oil and gas, okay, they can. So it really depends on industry. Some industry, you can find job very easily between 3 months. Some can be 6 months, some can be 1 year, some can be even 2 years at oil and gas. So depending on industry, build the emergency fund. Let's say you lose your job. You have 3 months emergency fund to sustain your expenses. Okay, I let you know, a lot of people, right, according to Malaysian statistics, DOSM, most of the people can only sustain for 1 month only. 1 month only. And you ask yourself, for this pandemic, who can survive more than 1 month? Very hard, you know, it's very hard. Then after that, what they will do? They will borrow money. Then it become an even ripple effect. It's a ripple that it's a cycle that they cannot come up from it. So it's very important that you build this emergency fund, build for the worst 3 to 6 months, okay? Yeah, and you only use it when you lose your job. Hear me correctly, you don't touch the emergency fund to buy a Xiaomi phone or iPhone. Never. To buy this car item, right, you need to have another fund. Understand? So build this 3 to 6 months, park inside the FD or park inside a money market, doesn't matter, okay? Your emergency fund, the purpose is not for investment. The emergency fund is to park day one, and you need to be safe one. You don't park inside a stock market emergency fund, right? Then you drop 30%, then how? You cannot, right? It's very hard, and you need to be liquid. Emergency fund need to be liquid. FD basic or money market basic, just basic lah, okay? Basic place to hold this fund. Then after that, you have sinking fund. What is sinking fund? Sinking fund is something like this lah. Recently, 2-3 years ago, I got one member. He go and buy a new car. Within 1 week, I tell you, within 1 week, the car, right, lose 4 new tire, you know, because someone steal the 4 tire. 1 tire, 250 ringgit. 1 week, he gone already 1,000 ringgit. So where he get a new extra 1,000 ringgit? Never touch the emergency fund. You touch the sinking fund. Normally, I put sinking fund between 5,000 to 10,000. Don't tell me every week your new car lose 4 tire, okay? Then you're really, I don't know, you need to pray hard for cost protection. But it's really happened. Every week you're going to lose something new. So sinking fund is when you lose your car tire, okay? You're going to accident. You're going to lose your phone, okay? You lose your laptop. Right? Last time our sister ministry house, the house is being broken in, right? Then every one of them lose a laptop, 3,000 ringgit. Where do you get this 3,000 ringgit? Right? From your sinking fund. Normally, 5,000 to 10,000 is sufficient already. Right? Build an emergency fund, 3 to 6 months. Let's say your salary is 2,500. Let's say build 6 months. Then become almost about 12,000. 12,000 emergency fund. Another 5 to 10,000 for sinking fund. This 20,000, right? Never touch. Then the subsequent, you can go for investment already, right? Later, they can probably share to you more. Right, next, can I have a next slide? Okay, I want to ask you this question. A lot of people save money, okay? But how do they save money? Okay, I talk to so many people, especially fresh grad, they normally use a common way of budgeting. Type yes if you use this formula. Type 1 if you use this formula, type 0 if you never save, and type 2 if you use other method, okay? Type 1, if you use this way to save money, you take your income, you deduct all the expenses, left over is your saving. If you use this formula, right, type 1, okay? What does it mean? You have an income, then you pay your bill, DG bill, internet bill, right, makan bill, okay, rental bill. Left over is your saving, right? If you use this formula, you type 1. Okay, some of you are using this common way of budgeting. Actually, according to the statistic, right, 90% of not just Malaysian, US, Australia, Japanese, all use this formula 1. It's a common way of budgeting. But I just want to let you today, today, if you never learn anything today, right, this is the one thing I want to share to you. Never use this formula anymore from today onwards. Okay, Monday onwards, Monday onwards, when you start to spend a lot, never use this formula anymore, because if you use this formula, right, very hard for you to save money. Why a lot of people cannot save money? Because they use this formula. So step number 1, don't use this formula. Common way is common practice. It's not a common sense. Common practice doesn't mean common sense. Actually, you look at this formula, it doesn't make sense. Because expenses, you have fixed expenses and variable expenses. A lot of time your variable expenses can suddenly jump, and then it will deduct, then it suddenly become negative. That's why a lot of people cannot save money. So never use a common way of budgeting. The Bible says, we never want to use the wide road. We want to use the narrow road. The narrow road. The narrow road normally is better road, the contrarian road. So today I want to share to you the contrarian road, which is better. Okay, it's much better. Use the proper way of budgeting. We call this concept pay yourself first concept. Pay yourself first. Okay, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you don't pay God first. Okay, paying tithe, that one is given. Okay, later Avante will share more about that one. That one is given. Tithing is given one. No need to question about that one. That one is given. After you settle the tithing, then pay yourself first. But normally people then I pay myself, if not extra there. But a little bit extra there, I pay God, right? So the order is mixed up already. Oh, okay, not so simple.
Sorry, okay. Carlos, you need to repeat a little bit about what you said because you disconnected us now.
Yeah. Okay, so use this proper way of budgeting. What does it mean is that when you have an income, pay yourself first, meaning to say save first. After you pay the tithe, right, then you save the money. How do you save this money? Okay, how many of you heard of this thing called standing instruction before? Standing instruction. If you hear before, you type yes. If you never, type 1. If you never hear before, you type 0. Standing instruction. Instruction. Never hear before, type 0. Okay. If you never hear before, right, Monday, go and, later after today, right, go and learn standard instruction. Monday onwards, right, if for those that are working, execute this standard instruction in your bank. Execute it immediately. Execute it. Do the ESI, standard instruction. Nowadays, all online already. Do the standard instruction. Standard instruction means, right, you automate your saving. Automate it. A few years ago, I learned this concept. It's so easy. I don't need to remember my budget anymore. I don't need to guess how much I will save anymore. I use this ESI, right, solve all my problem. Okay, I tell you, in Malaysia, the saving rate, if you go and Google, national saving rate of Malaysia in 2019, right, is 24.19%. Do you know how do you get this 24.19%? I tell you how they calculate this. They calculate something like this, your own EPF, 11%. Then your employer contribute 12%, right? This is about 23% already, 23%. Now, 24.19 minus 23 left with what? 1.2%. The average saving rate of Malaysian is actually 1.2%. Seriously, right? Seriously, they only can save 1.2%, I just cannot understand. Okay, but to be honest, this is really, you cannot double check. So if you want to be good in your budgeting, right, I tell you this, do a ESI, immediately do save 10%. Meaning to say, let's say you have 2,500 of your monthly income, 2,500, right? Immediately do standard instruction, 250, masuk another account for your saving, okay? For your saving, 250, okay? Minimum 250 lah. Then you become the top tier already in whole Malaysia, as simple as that, okay? What else I want to say? Yeah, so this is a budget. Can I have the next slide? Can I have the next slide? So, okay, credit card. I want to talk about credit card here. Credit card is actually very great until you do not know how to manage it, until you mismanage it. The Bible says, Proverbs 22 verse 7, the rich rules over the poor and the borrower is a slave to the lender. Okay, I'll let you know this story. Many years ago, more than 10 years ago, I know one brother, okay? I know one brother very close to me. He owed credit card. He owed a lot of credit card, He owes so much credit card, he cannot pay off the credit card. After that, he need to leave Malaysia. He ran away from Malaysia. Then after that, he settled down in Australia, picking cherry. Real story, this one I'm not making it up. Picking cherry and picking grapes, because he cannot pay off the credit card. This is how serious it is. If you do not know how to manage the credit card, you can actually become bankrupt, okay? So, okay, how many credit cards do I have? I tell you frankly, I have 2 credit cards. You have 2 credit cards. Why do I have 2 credit cards? A few years back, many years back, I was always being sent to Taiwan. Okay, when I'm sent to Taiwan, right, I need to stay in hotel, okay, the 5-star hotel. The hotel expenses is paid by my company, okay, they sponsor, okay. But when I check in, right, they need to have a deposit. Right? Normally, when you check in hotel, you need a deposit, right? And Taiwan hotel, they don't take cash for deposit. They say, I must have a credit card. I say, oh, yo, must have credit card one. Okay, no choice. Then I need to apply a credit card. If because of certain reason, then only I apply a credit card, right? So ask yourself, why do you need the credit card? My wife never have a credit card for more than 10 years, Many years ago, I asked my wife, hey, you apply one credit card lah, okay, okay, for backup, emergency, okay lah. I persuaded her. She applied a Maybank credit card, 8.88% per year, okay? After that, she used for 1-2 years, she no point for me. Not so useful for her. She also cut the credit card. She never have a credit card for more than 10 years. No point for her to use credit card, right? So she never have a credit card, debt free, okay? But so the question is, when do you use a credit card? You need to ask yourself, do you have a strong reason to use credit card or not? Okay, some people, when they want to buy a house, right, I just want to let you know how Bank Negara works, okay? Bank Negara need to look at okay, let's say you want to buy a house, you want to borrow a huge amount of loan. You buy a 400,000 property, right? You want to borrow 90%. 360,000, right? Bank want to loan you. But before bank loan you 360,000, they want to look at your credit history. The credit history, you look at your secrets. right? Secrets, right? So yeah, thanks Avante, right? So secrets will tell you your spending behavior. So if you have a credit card, they can tell like, oh, this guy use credit card 100 ringgit, pump petrol and then he pay immediately. Very good credit score, very credit behavior, very good, right? So bank will actually have some information about, okay, this guy borrow money also never mind because it's very good behavior. So sometimes we use credit card as a way to build that credit history. That's the purpose only. It's not for me to spend whatever I want, you know. So if that is your purpose, because some people don't have PTPTN one, so no choice, then you open a credit card just to build the credit history, right? But if you already have a PTPTN, you already built a good credit history, no point for you to build a credit card. Okay, occasionally, some bank, if they want to give you a loan for house loan, right, they always ask you, hey, open the credit card first so that I can give you a better rate. Let's say it's 2.5%, I can give you 2.45%. Okay, if you're so into 0.05%, you want to save the 0.05%. Okay, you go and open a credit card. So normally, we open, after 6 months, I cut the credit card also. But ask yourself, 0.05%, does it make a lot of difference? If it makes a lot of difference for you, then you open. If it's not, right, a lot of hassle, maybe you're going to debt, better don't open. So it depends on cases. Ask yourself, can you manage it or not? If you open, manage it properly, pay in full. Okay, 2 more things I want to share about credit card. Credit card, right, a lot of time they mention about simple interest. Okay, how many of you heard about this thing called effective interest rate? If you hear before effective interest rate, you type 1, never hear before, you type 0, right? Hear before or not, never hear before, right? So if you hear before, very powerful, okay? You're really advanced level finance guy, okay? So credit card always never talk to you about effective interest rate. Effective interest rate always higher than the normal interest rate. But this is how they do the gimmick, okay? So we are smart enough, we never want to fall into that. So always look into the effective interest rate. Secondly, right, the bank always want to try to get you to pay the minimum. Minimum normally, they get you to pay the 2% of the total balance. We never want to pay the 2% balance. We want to pay full, try to pay full, because if you only pay the 2%, right, they will still charge you percentage. I mean, the interest on the balance, 98%. I mean, this kind of number depend on bank to bank, okay? Local bank is different, international bank is different. But what I want to say to you is that always try to pay in full. This is why my friend need to go to Australia, because he never pay full. In fact, he never able to pay full, and he can't borrow money from many people. Okay, normally the effective interest rate will go from 15 to 19%. So just be very careful about this one. So this is a credit card. Can I have the next slide, please? And then this is debt. So debt is very, very important for us to understand. A lot of people ask, is debt, can we take on debt or not? Can we take on debt or not? So this is a $1 million question. We keep on coming to this question. So today, let's clear it once and for all. It is okay to take debt, and it's also okay to give out debt, because the Bible already mentioned that. Okay, so the Bible says something like this. There's two kinds of it. The Bible says if someone asks money from you, borrow money from you, the Bible says borrow money to them, and when you borrow money to them, don't expect to take it back. Okay, I'm not saying you borrow all your money to them. I'm not saying like that. I'm not saying you give all your emergency fund, your saving fund, your marriage fund, your family fund, all give to them. I'm not saying like that. Whatever that is comfortable to you, if you want to borrow, you ask the Holy Spirit. If you want to borrow, you borrow. But when you borrow, right, the Bible encourages us. It's not a compulsory thing. The Bible always only say, when you borrow, don't expect anything in return. Borrow as a blessing. Because sometimes in your spirit, you feel that you want to borrow only. You don't want to give, right? If you feel that you want to give, then you give. But you feel that you don't want to give, you want to borrow only, then you borrow. And then make that agreement with the person that you want to borrow. Why? I think the Bible is very full of wisdom. When you borrow out, you just want to take back, right? Because if you take back, you sometimes feel, when I can get back, you worry, then sometimes the relationship spoil. So it's good to just, you ask yourself, you ask God, do you want to give or not? If you give, when you borrow, you consider giving already. I mean, that's the best practice, right? And the Bible also say it's okay to borrow money also. But the Bible also mentioned the consequences. Because if you borrow money, you just imagine, you can't borrow money from another person. If you're not able to pay back, right, that relationship will just spoil, right? It will not be so good, right? Best friend relationship can be spoiled. Relative relationship also can be spoiled. It's not so good, okay? So as much as possible, don't go into debt. But there is occasionally where you need to go into debt. Right? For example, myself, right, I take PTPTN loan, and because of the PTPTN loan, because of this government arrangement, right, I can complete my degree. So I am very grateful for that. So ask yourself, why do you need to have this debt? Does it help you to improve in the future or not? Right? Something like that. But again, you manage it properly. I let you know, right? If you check today's statistic, a lot of youth today, below 35 years old, a lot of youth, they're bankrupt. Why they bankrupt? I let you know 2 reasons why they bankrupt. They bankrupt because of car loan and personal loan. Car loan. So be very careful when going to car loan. A lot of youth bankrupt. They buy 100,000 car just for working for 1-2 years, and then a lot of people cannot pay back. Right? So be very careful. Understand good debt and bad debt. Good debt, also ask yourself whether you can pay or not. Okay. How many of you heard this thing before called DSR? If you hear before, you say yes. Never heard before, you type 0. DSR means debt servicing ratio. Today, I do not have enough time to talk about DSR, but I mean in details. But give you a guideline. Always try to lower down your DSR below 50% or below 30%. If you want to buy, even you want to buy a house for long-term commitment, try to keep it below 50%. When you buy a house, right? Today it's not so easy to buy a house. A lot of people, they come together as a couple to buy a house. But even so, right, try to keep the DSR below 50%. DSR means, right, your loan commitment divided by your net income. Try to keep it below 50%. Okay? And so I think that's all I want to share today for this 3 points. Later, if you have more questions, can ask more. So I pass back the time to Avante. Yeah.
Okay, the next principle we're going to talk about is education. Okay, so in Proverbs it says that walk with the wise and become wise, for companion of fools suffers harm. Okay, this I think in Chinese people say if you hang out with 猪朋狗友, you soon become 猪朋 and become 狗. Means that if you hang out with friends that are like pigs, are like dogs, you soon become like them as well. So I think it's very important that I think the Bible teaches something about very realistic. Okay, and next thing I'm going to talk about is, does anybody know what this figure is? 1799000000000. Does anybody even know what is this? Like, how is this billion, million, or trillion, or whatever? Okay, this is actually the net worth of the richest person. Okay, which is Jeff Bezos. You know, back when I was thinking about this question. You know, Jeff Bezos is the richest person in the whole world. So why doesn't he go to Africa, go to go to Indonesia, go to India to help these people out, to put money to pay for their expenses so they won't die of hunger, they won't die of all sorts of things. They can build infrastructure. $179 billion is actually a lot more than a lot of countries' GDP. So why doesn't he end world hunger? Okay, so in the end, I found out one thing. I have this experience when I was in Sabah. My friend, he owns an FMCG company, which is FMCG, fast-moving consumer goods, which actually means that when you sell consumer goods, when the things you see in supermarket. So all these salesmen, their income is not too bad, right? About 4 to 5K, and his brother, his brother has one wife, two kids. 4 to 5K in Sabah is actually quite okay to live. But there's one problem that he always faces. This salesperson always asks him to borrow 50 ringgit every week, 50 ringgit. Then whenever he go to my friend here, borrow 50 ringgit, then my friend will tell him, you have to manage your money well, making 4,000-5,000, can one, you have to manage it properly, you have to do this, all this kind of thing. Then the salesperson said, okay. Then at the end of the day, don't care, 50 ringgit. Can you give me 50 ringgit? So it's all about education. You have to really learn about how to manage it well, and really go and practice about it. Because if you still fall back into the same problem, impulse spending, not managing well, then you lose. You can't keep track of your finances. You will go back to the same problem again. So this quote always said, poverty is not in the pocket. It's not how much money you have in the bank. It's not how much money you have in the pocket. It's actually what's in your mindset. Can your mindset change? It's just like some people you keep helping, it won't solve the issue because their mindset hasn't changed yet. even you give 5,000 to this kind of person, 10,000, 20,000, it will never solve their problem. They will still get into debt, gambling. They will still go back into taking drugs, still go back to financial problem because the mind hasn't changed yet. Okay, so it's very important, to keep your life free from love of money and be content with what you have, because keep the key word here is keeping content with what you have. Then you stay away from impulse spending. So being contented is one of the way to keep you to help you to achieve financial freedom. Because like Carlo was saying that you don't need 100,000 car. In Malaysia, 3,000, 5,000, you can get a 1990 Proton Isora, which can drive. I drove one from Kuching to Sabah already, 3 days, 2 nights. It can last you for years. It was like, I think 6,000 ringgit that car. You can buy for 6,000. You don't need a brand new X50. X50 is like 100 over 1,000. You don't need it. So be content with what you have. Okay, and knowing that money problem is actually a symptom of something even greater. Do not know how to manage your finance is actually not a problem. What is the problem is actually what's in the mind. Okay, what is in the mind, it reflects you to have a problem of financial issues. Lacking of knowing how to manage finance is actually a symptom because of FOMO, fear of missing out. You want to get the new iPhone 12, which get you when you don't have the money, which get you to make you to impulse spend to buy iPhone with your credit card. Okay, then you have poor financial decision. It's actually a symptom of what's in your mind. So it's very important to know to have the right education. I tell you, the best education is in the Bible. Okay, if you want to learn from the richest man in the whole universe, let's learn from God, because the first point we know that everything we have in this world is from God. And learn from the Proverbs. Learn from Proverbs, the wisest man ever in the history, Solomon. Okay, so let's go to the next one, principle F. Okay, it's about family planning. Most of us are single here. Okay, most of us are single here. Before going into a family, I think it's starting a family. I think it's very important to look into this first. Suppose one of you build a tower, won't you first sit down and estimate the cost to see if you have enough money to complete it? Babies are cute. They might not be anymore when they start to drain your bank accounts. Okay, so even you don't have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or you haven't even looked into getting married yet. If you plan to one day, if that's your plan, it's time to sit down to really think about how many children you're gonna have. When you're gonna how many years apart the children it should be. How much is the diapers. Go and survey. Childcare, education, living expenses, insurance, medical, and education, all those kind of things. So you have to start planning for all this, because once you started, most probably it's too late for you to. Okay, it's never too late, but it's a bit late already for you to start planning for it. Okay, so think back deep, be grateful for our parents. If we really be grateful for our parents, we can see how hard they work for us. And, don't be, because of lack of family planning, there are lots of children suffer because of lack of family planning. So don't let our children be one of those. Okay, and the next one we're going to go into is principle G, be grateful and generous. Okay, and before I go into this, I want to share a story with you. Okay, back last year, I can't remember exactly when was the month. Okay, I was in church Sunday service back when we still can go to service. Okay, before this COVID thing, I was listening to a sister sharing her testimony in front on the stage, and she was saying she was sharing that she is actually not from Kuching. I'm from Kuching, by the way, Hope Kuching, and this sister come from Hope Cebu. Okay, and no, not Hope Cebu, sorry. She came to Kuching and got to know Christ and attend to the church. And she was sharing her story. Then I felt there was a burden in me. I believe it was God speaking to me to give, only 50 ringgit, to give 50 ringgit to this sister. To me, 50 ringgit is okay. I can give it anytime. But I don't know why there's this procrastination in me, I don't know why I didn't give immediately. And a few months later, then it keep coming back, the burden keep coming back to me. So I gave it to a brother and asked the brother to pass it to the sister. And after that, it was gone. I didn't think about it anymore until this year March, before the pandemic happened. I was in so much stress in my work. I was I was actually in a way in depression, you can say. I was so stressed about it. I felt like giving everything up. Then suddenly when I was talking to my girlfriend, I was ranting, I was talking about all sorts of things. Then suddenly I got a text message. It's actually from the brother. This brother actually tell me that, hey, you know what? When you give to this sister, you know what happened? Because this sister has been receiving money from the father. The father was financing her in Kuching to study, and she actually came from a divorced family. Her parents divorced. Then, so the sister got the money from the father, and the sister actually gave the money to the mother. Okay, and the father found out on that month, and that was the month that I gave I gave to the sister, and actually that money helped her to go through the whole month, and she was so grateful about it. And you know, that text message, it boosted my emotion. It helped me through all this depression. You know, during that time, 5,000, 10,000, 50,000 cannot solve my problem. Okay, it wasn't a money problem. It was a problem with myself. It was a problem with my emotion. But because of that text message, we never know what we get in return. Many times we think we give money, we invest money, we get money back. We think we plant a mango tree, we get mango. But this situation, we never know what will happen. When God asks us to do something, I procrastinated, but I did it. Then that was a greater blessing, to me, and depression was gone totally. Okay, and so I'm gonna share with you guys this John chapter 6, verse 1 to 14. Is too long, but you're going to read. It's about Jesus was speaking to 5,000 people, and there was no food. Okay, there was no food, and 5 loaves and 3 fishes. 2 fishes. This story came up, okay, and by just having 5 loaves and 2 fishes, it fed 5,000 men. It did not say how many women, how many children were there. It was written 5,000 men. By breaking and sharing 5 loaves and 2 fishes, it fed 5,000 men. And how many kids, how many wives, you do not know. And there's still 12 baskets left full. So what I'm trying to say, let's see how God's economy is. God's economy is the more you give, the more it will produce, the more it will have. Even 12 baskets left, So this is not the worst economy. The worst economy is based on supply and demand, The more people want, the lesser it will be, the more expensive it will be. But this is not God's economy. So let us be in God's economy, because that, I think, is a fundamental that we believe in as a believer. So even in Acts, it's written again, in everything I did, it is more blessed to give than to receive. Okay, so I'm going to stop this point with, use money to love people instead of using people to love money. It's a common practice. People go for money first before going to people. So it's very important to use money, because after all, money is a tool, remember? Money, what we have to seek what the owner wants. The owner wants is to love people. So we use money to love people. Okay, so next, we're going to talk about honest hard work. Okay, dishonest money dwindles away, but whoever gathers money little by little. Okay, and I'd like to address an issue today is passive income. A lot of people talk about passive income. They hope to have passive income forever, But I want to tell you, passive income makes you passive. Okay, you cannot let passive income replace your active income, because if you don't work hard for it anymore, it corrupts your mind sometimes. Money, gambling, all these are easy money. They are too easy. That corrupts your mind, and you will not put more energy into active kind of money anymore. You will not work hard for money anymore, because it's too easy money in the past. It's been easy there. You make 20, 30,000, 50,000. But then now you have to work hard, go for a job, a salary that pays you 3,000, 4,000. You cannot do that anymore. Okay, so it's very important to have honest hard work. Okay, I'm gonna skip. We don't have much time. Okay, and invest. Okay, this is a very wide topic. Okay, and invest in your future and your eternity. Okay, invest in reading the Bible. Invest where you can take the risk. Okay, in short, this pyramid actually shows that how the economy is supported by the workforce. Most of the economy of a country is actually supported by businesses. So in order to enjoy the growth of the economy, you have to invest in businesses. How to invest in business? You can go into unit trust, you can go into shares if you know. Of course, again, you have to have that education before we can go into investment. If not, it's just basically gambling. Okay, so I'm going to go to point 10, okay, which is tithe. Okay, for where your treasure is, where your heart will be also. Okay, and we always know that our heart should be with God. Okay, so giving tithe is the fundamental of managing finances. Just like Garo was sharing in budgeting, 10% is there's no excuse for it. Give it, pay it back to God. It's not pay back to God. It shows that you control the money. You don't let money control you. Okay, so again, you're just administrating the money. Okay, so it's actually an act of trust and surrender, building your faith on God. It's just like I'm always sharing that many times people tithe with different with their own motives in the beginning. It's just like how I did in the beginning. I tithe because I hope to get more in the future. Okay, it's just like maybe the first time you came to Christ, came to church because of this pretty lady, this handsome guy. Okay, many times you start with so-called the wrong motive, but again, when you look more into it, you realize giving tithe, God doesn't need your money. God is the Lord of everything. He has everything. Why does He need your 10%? 10% how much? 3,000. Need 300 for what? What can He do? He doesn't want your money. What He wants is your trust and faith and surrender. That thing holds you most in your heart, and surrender it to Jesus. That is what He wants. And because of that key, when you put it in, you unlock, He can show you, the glory, what He can pour down from heaven and fill your barns is in the Bible, is written. So I encourage you, to practice all these principle A to principle 10. Okay, we're going to do a recap. So principle A, administrator, not owner. Budget, not impulse spending. Cut your credit cards. Demolish debts, education, family planning, grateful and generous, honest, hard work, invest, and most importantly, tithe. Okay, so these are, so we have to do it, because if not, all this will just be a knowledge, Okay, I'm going to skip that, okay. Knowledge versus wisdom, knowing tomato is a vegetable is knowledge. Using it into a salad is wisdom. Knowing existence of God is knowledge. Fearing God is wisdom. So just like today, we've learned all these 10 principles. Knowing how to manage finance is knowledge. If you don't put it into practice, if you don't use it right, it's just going to be a knowledge. It's not for you to write a book, right? You don't have to write a book, right? You want to manage your finance well, right? So it takes wisdom to go and practice it. And that's it. We don't have much time for Q&A. So any questions? Do you guys have any questions about these 10 principles? And any questions for us? Do you like to understand more?
I have one question for both speakers. Okay. So yeah, I know both of you are going into business. So my first question will be like, in the beginning, you guys entering into the business, right? How do you guys plan your financial planning in terms of you need the backup, you need the emergency funds, all these things before you entering into it?
Carlo, do you want to take that?
Okay. I think I joined e-commerce. I have my own e-commerce. So I think I joined about 2016. Okay, 2016. So that time I start small. I start small. I sell some wallet, sell some perfume, okay, do some photography online, go to KLCC, take some photo, those small business. So that time no money earn, lose money, maybe lose a few hundred ringgit. And keep on trying, right? Oh, finally I found something, okay? I do homestay. So when I do homestay, I gather a lot of okay, my style is very conservative one. I'm not the super like Elon Musk all in one. Not like Elon Musk. I'm a very conservative person. So normally I will start small first, accumulate certain finance, certain amount of money, right? Then I will use that amount to expand. So normally I will try to go for cost-free, no cost one. Even the cost is very small, a few hundred ringgit. Right. So that time, so what happened that time is that I invest in property, okay? I invest in property. Then the property, I want to fully maximize my room, okay? So So I go for long-term rental and then a homestay, long-term rental, homestay, collect a lot of money, then I expand from there. So my style is start small, be very prudent with your costs, right? Because today, okay, I'll let you know the statistic. 80% of the people that start business will close their business within 1 year. So this is a real statistic really. And I checked this statistic, in Malaysia, in US, in Australia, everywhere, same one. I stay very nearby SS2 in PJ. Every time I go to SS2, right, within 1 year, the bubble tea will not be there already. It will be another bubble tea, okay? The cake shop will be another cake shop. The restaurant will be another, even this got one very famous branded chicken, what's it? Nandos, Nandos, 2 shop lot within 1.5 closed down also. Nandos also closed down SS2. So then I try to check why people close down so early. Because cost problem. When certain issue happen, because normally people plan, right? They plan very ideal. Business plan is always very ideal. But when I plan, right, I always plan for the worst one. I plan when there's no money coming in. So when there's no money, I still can survive. So normally how people bankrupt is because of they cannot afford their money capex. Capex, we call it capex. Capex is one. We have not talked about OPEX. OPEX is something like electricity. Of course, if you know business, you close shop, no OPEX, it's okay. But CAPEX is fixed income, fixed kind of thing, right? So normally CAPEX is the one that kill people. So I always want to reduce the CAPEX. OPEX normally doesn't make any issue, because when you have a lot of business, the margin will cover the OPEX already, right? Let's say you have a lot of costs, then your phone bill need to pay higher because you suddenly need to pay more. I'm okay because the business already covered my OPEX. So CAPEX is the one that kill people. So my advice, right? If you want to go for business, make sure you manage your CAPEX very, very well. Your costs, your fixed costs. So I don't have any fixed costs. I do e-commerce, I have no fixed costs. I have no inventory. I do drop shipping, I have no inventory. And then I also do some, how to say, financial consultation. That one, no inventory one, right? I talk, I earn a few thousand, something like that. So very simple. That's why at one day, the pocket very full one, right? Do consultation only.
Yeah.
So this is how I manage it, right? And then I also plan for a worst case. So I have multiple sources of income in terms of businesses, right? So I sometimes also lose count. So all is very small, some is big, right? So I always, because the market is very volatile. There's this thing called, I'm not sure whether you hear before, there's this thing called market rotation. Any one of you hear before? If you hear before, you type yes. Never hear before, you type 0. Market rotation, right? So market rotation means industry always change one. So you look at the stock market. Stock market is a very good indication of what market rotation means, right? So I don't have time to talk about that one. That one is a very huge topic, right? So market always changes. Sometimes people like this one, sometimes people don't like this one. This is thing called money flow, right? So money flow, right? So this kind of thing, so you need to understand sometimes people like bubble tea, then the thing will die, right? So you need to understand all this kind of thing. Initially, homestay, I look at the statistic, right? All homestay very booming. That's why I also master homestay. But even I master homestay, right? Even now, no business, I still can survive one because I have other income to supply that one. Eventually, it will come back. Who knows when, right? So it's always good to have multiple source of income, MSI, right? Multiple source of income because you never know when. So be very prudent also. Yeah, not sure whether I answer your question. I normally start with 0 cost. From the 0 cost, I earn an income. Let's say I earn an income 10,000. I only use that 10,000 to expand. I will not pump in any money. If a 0 cost, I also cannot grow, right? Normally, it doesn't work for me. Right? This is my style. I'm not an all-in one. Maybe Awenta is an all-in one. Maybe Awenta want to share something.
I think before, okay, it's like Carlo has a few business that can actually break even. It's like some 0, then some you can cover already. So what if you have like 0, you have no you have how do you say, you have no business at all. So your first one must make money already. If your first one don't make money, then die already lah. Because that you are running at a loss already. So how I always think before even going into determining what kind of business we do or even how to manage business, I don't even think about that first. I think my first thing is the most important thing is that you must have a mind that is always clear
that you don't always look at your phone, you know. You know, when you go around, when you're on the MRT, when you are in the Grab, don't look at your phone, you know. Look around even when you're alone. Be always asking yourself, how can I improve things around me? It's like just giving you some example. You know, some ideas are just crazy. Most important that you must have the idea of giving solution to a problem, or making people's life more convenient. Okay, it's just like the other day I was just driving around there. I see people are actually laying the, what's that thing called? Laying the black and white thing by the road. That thing. You know, people go and paint it when they build the road. They do the pavement. There's this the curb. Okay, I was thinking, why do people lay all the curbs and paint it later on? Why not you just supply the curb with just black and white? They just have to lay there. They don't have to waste extra people go and paint the color. You know, it can make sense. It may not make sense. But the most important thing is you must have a clear mind that is always thinking of ways how to give people value. Okay, it's like if you ask me how I do business, first thing, like I said, you have to have a clear mind. Always think of things that actually help people. And second thing, you need to have expertise and skills. And it's just like myself. Okay, I don't have a lot of skills, to be honest. Okay, I don't know how to do a lot of things, but knowing how to find those people who can do it is more important, because you don't want to end up being jack of all trades, but you don't want to end up being a rojak. Everything you also do, everything you also have, you know. So it's very important to find the right people and with the right skill, and you think of your side, how can you contribute to that business? So it's just like like the, how do I say, we started this homestay business, but we actually we don't really do homestay. I'm not sure how Kalok do it in big city, you know, but small city like us, I don't really do daily one. I do monthly one. So I've seen a problem, like people rent rooms, they jump rooms all around, rooms after rooms after rooms after rooms, because they want to change the environment. So we were thinking, why not we make some place where people can feel like home. When they stay here, this is the first place and the last place they want to stay. So we can have a steady income. Okay? Then we can make sure this customer will never run away. Okay? So we actually created this place. We call the commune on Facebook if you want to check it out. Okay? There are lots of people. We encourage different kinds of people coming in from different countries, from different cultures. So that's the value we bring in. Remember, always giving values to people, because people pay you money, exchange for service. You don't only give service, you have to give them values more than what they should pay for. You know, so I think that is very important in doing business. And then I will need someone who know how to deal with social media very well. So that's how I got my partner. I got Aaron in actually. Aaron Ong. He knows to take a very nice picture, go and edit. I don't know all this kind of thing. I only know, you know, ask me talk here, talk there. I can talk but I cannot take picture. Then he takes all the nice picture, then he go and post. Then I think I realized, you know, leveraging on each other's strengths is very, very important in business. And finding the right partner is always also very important. Before going into cost, I mean, if you can't even get business started, you have nothing to manage, to be honest. Yeah.
Any other people have other question? You can type or you can ask straight away. Okay, I see one question. What skills are worth investing time? Since it's student investment for us may not be money but time. Oh, you meaning what? Investing time. Oh, meaning how do you use your time to learn a skill, right? In terms of investment, is it? Am I understanding it correctly? So for me, okay, I think you raised a very good question here. In fact, the term investment is very confusing, very, very confusing. I try to talk to different people. People just keep on confusing. After you explain to them, right? They confuse again, right? So it's very common here. Investment, when we say about this term investment, it's always about long-term one, okay? So if you have a mindset, okay, I buy a stock today, then I want to sell next month. So we call this swing trading. So this trading already lah. Okay. So normally, so for you, right? Of course, this kind of long-term, short-term are very subjective. But at the first place, right, you define what is short-term, long-term. In fact, short-term, medium-term, long-term lah, right? If you do anything buy and sell within less than 1 year, right, it's short-term already. Short-term need very high skill, very, very high skill. Number one, very high skill, very high commitment in terms of time and attention, right? Understand the technical skill, whatever. Very high demanding, very demanding. So I ask myself, right, can I commit or not? Because if you can't commit your time to learn the skill, you better go and do trading. You do investment. Investment, right? Very simple one. You define certain criteria. All those businesses hit your criteria, then you put your money in. And you put for the long term. Put for 10 years, 20 years. Okay, whether you like it or not, whether you're aware or not, actually all of us are investors. Okay, all of us are investors. You may not be aware. You take out your 11%, you put under EPF. EPF also contribute another 12%, 23%. Your 23% of your income is being invested in certain businesses. Okay lah, sometimes EPF also trade lah, okay? But I believe they also do invest. So you look at the portfolio, the asset allocation EPF, some is for long term, some for short term, you know. Some is for property, some is for bond, some is for trading one. So you can go and, so sometimes we're also not sure where does our money go in EPF. You can go to annual report in EPF and you can check it out. But anyway, what I want to say, right, understand the definition of investment. No? Investment is always long term. So a lot of people, they go for trading. Okay, I thought very smart, buy here, sell there, right, earn the difference. That one requires very high skill. So for me, go and understand investment. Okay, another thing, right, I want to share this. Every time we pay out money, we are buying something. Whether you're buying a product, a physical product, or you're buying a financial product, as long as you take out money from your pocket, right, you're paying something. Now, education and information and insight are very important. I'll give you one example. What I want to say. You go to Tesco. The Tesco sales girl would say, hey, shampoo A and shampoo B, both also good one. Buy any one of it. Okay, then you buy. No? So what happens is that you become a Tesco customer. But shampoo A may be more expensive, you know, in Tesco. Later on, you go to Aeon. You realize, right? Shampoo A in Aeon is much cheaper. But because we are not aware, we are not being educated, we are a bit naive. That's why when someone sells something to us, right? Okay, and this is how people do it. There are Tesco salesmen, they compare product A and product B. They give you an impression that you have choice. Because I let you know how people buy things. When they thought that they have choice and they thought that they're already making the best choice, they will take action one. Now, this is an impression that Tesco girl, okay, I'm not saying Tesco, this is an example only. Tesco sales girl say, hey, shampoo A, shampoo B, shampoo A is better and cheaper. Why don't you buy shampoo A? But you never realize actually you already become a Tesco customer. But actually, you need to come out from Tesco and go to Aeon and double check. Then only you have a fair comparison, you know. So what I want to say is that regardless of whatever financial product, do comparison. Okay? This is a time you need to spend. You don't immediately pay that thing, okay? Okay, I'll be very honest here, whether it's unit trust, whether it's insurance, whether it's stock, whether it's broker, whatever services, right? Compare, always compare, okay? Something like that. So be aware, do some comparison. Research, market research is very important. I know some other people that is objective one, okay? Objective, no bias one. Yeah, something. Of course, I read Bible, to be honest. Read Bible, to be honest, not to say holy here or whatever. Bible, right? If you just study everything about finance in the Bible, right, it's sufficient for you to be smart in money already. It's sufficient already, right? The Bible already say, right, invest in 7 things, if can, 8 things, right? The Bible already tell us to do asset allocation already, diversification already, invest in 8 things, okay? I'm not sure whether 8 you can handle or not. If you cannot do 8, do 5, right? Catch the principle there, right? Something like that.
I get some questions from the Google form. I think this is your field also. Any advice for going e-commerce business?
Okay, e-commerce now is a booming already. Okay, I just want to share, I shared this thing to another person today, right? Okay, A lot of people, when they plan business, they plan in the wrong way, you know. When they look at a big report, they say, e-commerce growing by 50% this year. And then they tell you the value. Maybe let's say last year it's 50 billion GMV, right? This year is 75 billion GMV. Wow, you say, wow, big business, huh? Then you jump in. You jump in, and then you bring a lot of inventory from China, right? How about you bring an inventory, right? Then you stock your inventory inside your... That's why a lot of people lose money, because first thing is that as a business, you never look at big number one. You never look at big number. That big number is never relevant to you. What you need to do is that you need to look at your locality. Who are you serving? Let's say, for example, you want to sell shampoo. You want to sell shampoo. You must ask, right? This shampoo, who will buy, you know? Actually, very hard for me to share here. You must check your conversion rate. Check your conversion rate. If you do this marketing, how much you can reach, and then how many people will convert. If the number doesn't make sense, that 75 billion doesn't make sense. It's actually irrelevant to you. So never look at a big number, okay? Follow the trend, go for niche. Go for niche. Be very, very specific. If you sell shampoo, right? Don't just say you sell shampoo. Sell shampoo for people that lose hair. Go for niche one. Niche. Okay? Google AdWords and Google Analytics be able to tell you what are high competition and low competition. Look at those numbers. Right? So if you want to talk to me in details, you PM me, okay? PM the P, okay? Very hard. So basically, don't look at a big number. Start small. Always start small. And today, supplier already give us free inventory already, no inventory one. So try to go that route. Never try to hold inventory unless you already have a loyal customer. Confirm loyal customer, then only you go for inventory. Otherwise, very high risk. This is what I would say. Always go for, when we do business, right, we look at risk first before profit. A lot of people go for profit after that risk. That's why people bankrupt close within 1 year. Go for risk management, then only profit, P&L, okay? Yeah, this is all I want to share. That's a quick one, okay? Yeah.
Sorry, because we are running out of time. We have allowance for one more question, one more last question. Yeah.
Okay, if no one wants to ask question, then I will take the chance of last question. Okay, so I heard from both the speakers, they mentioned about the passive and active income, and also their business income. From there, I think the income will be very variable throughout every month, right? So how do you guys plan for your tax? Is it like you like for that particular month, you total out how many income, then you give 10%, or how?
Can I get the question again?
Yeah, I believe your income for every month will be very different. Okay, so the simplified question is how you plan your tithe. Is it you total out for every month, then you straight away give 10%?
Okay. I love to use annual tithing. So I think it helps me to average out my so I see the whole year. Then how much I give, then I make tithing at the end of the year. And you also have to depend your business income, because your business income might not, let's say your gross profit, it might not be, you don't really take 100% of your gross profit in for yourself. Maybe if gross profit, you only take, let's say your own. Do you have an online business yourself? Do you have a business yourself? So I mean, I think that's easier for us to help you.
For now, no.
Okay, so usually if you ask me how would I do this, okay, this is how I do it. So if you have a business, for example, you have whatever business you have, okay, you have to determine how much you have to give yourself. Okay, your business is actually not you. You are not your business. Okay, you have to separate yourself and the business. Okay, so even if your business make money, let's say your business make 10,000 this year, 10,000 is not your money. 10,000 is your business make money. So you have to decide from your business how much your business pay you as a CEO whatever as your boss Then you have to determine from there. Then you give tithe from your own salary or you want to give tithe as a company also can. then you depend. I think that will be easy also. Then they will be depend on your gross profit. Then you pay from profit before tax. You can do that lah. Or you want to do it profit after tax also can. So I think that depends on do you have partners as well? Do you guys have the same vision about giving tithe? I think all this plays a part lah. It's a very subjective question, I think.
Yeah, actually, it's a very subjective question because it depends on the business model, and then what is is it a sole proprietor? Is it a partnership? Is it sendirian berhad? So if sole proprietor, easy lah, okay, like you sell burger, right? Money already masuk your pocket. Very simple, okay? You just decide every month you take out lah. But if it's sendirian berhad, not as simple as that lah. So yeah, that will be complicated. So if you want to, you try as a sole proprietor first, then you understand. So yeah, so it's not so easy to answer that one. So, but for me, you just plan, you just plan first of all, whether it's money. For me, very hard to do money. It's impossible, to be honest. If it's a fixed income, right, then you can do money. But it's a business, it's running here and there, Yeah, and then, you cannot keep on drawing money out of the business one, right? So it's a step thing. It's not a money regular thing. Yeah, it's not so easy to answer you, So we need to look at what is your business, right? For example, last time we attend this certain business, they only break even after 3 years. They sell cow 3 years, losing money one. Okay, so when you're gonna tie after 3 years, right? After break even, after that no money, how you draw? No money to draw one. Only muscle money only. So it depends how is your business. We have to answer you. Yeah, but as long as you plan, you have a commitment to plan, and then you pay that money, right?
I can show you how I do it personally, because my income is similar to business income, because my main income is actually from my insurance business. Okay, it's also variable, but it's somewhere there, so I can show you how I distribute my income. If you see from the chat, okay, so I use percentage. I don't use a fixed amount. So okay, see how I distribute. So 10% I straight go into savings first. Then 20% automate lah. It's just like Carlos said, I do everything by sending instruction. Okay. Then 20% I go to investment. Then I tithe 15% because I believe it's more painful. I think it's more painful. It helps me to learn more lesson and it helps me in building my faith. And fixed personal expenses, I always keep it below 15%. My home loan, then I go for 10%. Then my car loan 15%. Then my family expenses, I allocate 5%. Then personal usage, food, wants, extras. Actually, this is usually the hardest thing to control. Okay, so I make it 10%. So whatever I have left, if I have any extra income, I straight go into 8. Little extra, if I have substantial income, then I go back into 1. I put it into 1. Of course, with this kind of, this is how I allocate it. After I have my own emergency fund already. Then my emergency fund will grow according with my income. So this is how I do it. I personally feel this is very helpful for me. And again, different people, different situation, different solution. But this is how I do it if I have a variable income. So it might help you variable income. So I do once a year tithing. So the amount scares you more. It makes you more painful when you transfer to Hope account. Ayo, a bit painful sometimes. Yeah, but it feel good. It's like, wow, God, thank you for giving me the faith to trust you, and you learn a lot of very interesting lessons by being faithful with tithing.
Maybe here, Isaac, maybe want to ask Carlo, because I look at your profile, I think you also involved. Can you hear me, by the way? Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, right. Yeah, because I look at your profile, I think you're also involved in the e-commerce before. So because of the current situation, I'm just thinking actually the situation is quite fluid for a lot of institutions. Yep. So therefore, I'm just thinking whether should I invest my time or not in this e-commerce or not. So any advice on this?
Yeah, it's a very good question. The previous workshop also, a lot of people ask about e-commerce. So I will say something like this. Everyone should learn the skill of e-commerce, because whatever business, right, eventually will go online one. It's a matter of time only. The government is putting a lot of money into supporting the SME. to go e-commerce. Two of my Live Group member, they already recently not just attended okay, but they already got a confirmation. Government gave them a free course. Okay, normally this kind of course cost 2,000-3,000. They now got it free, right? Online. They're going to learn online. So it's no issue. Go and learn. Okay. If you ask me, no harm learning okay. But if you want to put money inside, be very careful Okay. A lot of people okay. I let you know the statistic 80% of the business that started will close within 1 year. 80%. This is no joke. No joke. So you ask yourself, what made you the top 20%? You go and study, why other 20% that never close? I tell you a little bit story here. Number one is that they do not manage their capex. Okay, capex. They do not manage the capex. So go and understand what is capex, and then go and learn understand what is opex. Capex is a fixed cost. A lot of companies they die because they didn't manage the fixed cost. If you want to venture into e-commerce, of course there's many routes. I just give you two simple routes. Have inventory and no inventory. If you want to start to be safe, do e-commerce without inventory one. No inventory one. No inventory one. Can try to do drop shipping No inventory one, because if you have a high inventory, then you will die already, right? And some people and how do they keep inventory? There's two ways. Number one, really from the pocket. The other part is that they're on credit, right? So it's very, very careful that you look at it. A lot of people look at the trend. They say, okay, they look at the trend. E-commerce grow 50% this year. What does it mean? Is it really relevant to you? A lot of people, they thought that, okay, e-commerce growing 50%, let me jump into a bandwagon. This is where they fall, right? My question to all the people here is that if you want to start, look at your current niche, your coverage. You need to ask, what are you selling? What are you selling, and who are people going to buy from you? You need to calculate the conversion rate properly. Of course, I cannot give this e-commerce training within 5 minutes, right? You want to really venture in it, you can actually talk to me. I've been doing e-commerce for 6-7 years, right? Personally, I'm making like 6 figure, okay? So of course, 6 figure is net profit, okay? 7 figure is the 1 year. So you really can do if you do it properly, okay? But start with not looking at the profit and loss first. Not looking at the profit. A lot of people, they lose money because they look at profit first. How I do it is that I look at the risk first. The risk. What is the worst case? What is the worst case? Okay. So the worst case, you need to take into account. What if no people buy your product? Can you change immediately or not? A lot of people, they cannot change immediately because they already hold stock. They already hold 10,000 stock in their house. No warehouse, they put a 10,000 inventory in their house and they're stuck. And because it's an inventory, the depreciation rate is going down. So go for the safe route, but educate yourself, right? So yeah, I would recommend everybody go and learn a little bit. Even you're not successful, so can learn one, right? Yeah, I start my e-commerce with 60 ringgit in it. 60 ringgit, and I make 7 figures. Very easy because I'm a very conservative guy, okay? I use a safe route. Some people are all in one. Okay, if you're all in, okay, you better have a better business plan. But I let you know, most business plan doesn't go into plan one. That's why 80% of the business fail. So now is the time. People are all going digital already. Mobile is the way. So try to go the area, but just plan properly. Plan your capex, plan your manpower. Yeah, and e-commerce is a very huge scope. Get a team, okay? Get a team, at least 2 or 3 person. Start simple. 1 person really have to do one. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thanks for the advice.
Any more questions?
Yeah, any more questions? Any one of you planning to buy a car within 1 year? Or now no need to buy already because cannot go out.
I'm planning to sell my car.
Awesome. Yeah, any question? This is a time you ask, you ask the question that you cannot ask.
Oh, very busy one. Usually one question cost, you have to pay 3,000 to answer one, but now it's free. Just ask.
Yeah. Yes, because I would like to ask, is there any resource or books that we can read to learn about this basic financial knowledge.
Are you a very reading kind of person?
Now not really because I haven't started working.
Okay. But to me, because I am not a very reading kind of person. I don't really love to read.
I love reading.
Oh, you love reading? Okay, then that's good. That's good. Okay, but I think okay, yeah, maybe Carlo can answer that.
Oh, okay. I'm really a reader. In fact, I'm a blogger also. I write blog. So you can go to my blog. Inside my blog, right, got two portions. One is my own content. Got one page there is all other people's content. Those are the top seller. And I downloaded all the free PDF and I put inside that Google Drive. So I save you a lot of time. You just go there, download all the PDF and read yourself, okay? So those are the books that I recommend. I recommend one, okay? But having said that, some are secular book, meaning it's not written by Christian author. Some are Christian author. So I will recommend you, right, understand the background of that author before you follow everything, okay? Because some are, if you do not understand, it may cause you trouble, one, you know. So for me, right, go and just educate yourself and expose yourself reading the book. Okay, for me, very simple one. You read to get yourself exposed. I'm not saying you read must follow 100%. Some people write, right, okay, go and buy gold, right? Then does it make sense for you? So may not be, right? So some may ask you to do derivative. Some may ask you to do buy cryptocurrency, right? My blog never asks you to buy cryptocurrency, but I do address cryptocurrency in my blog. So can start with my blog first, right? So I later share the link. Okay, Jason, I think you can put my link there. But my blog got one page is called resources.
The link is in the website, the Connect website. You guys go to the workshop profile, right? You guys can see there. There's a link there. Yeah.
I see.
Then got one page called resources. Everything is there, so you can read. Yeah. Get yourself educated first. If you don't understand, you can always ask Awante, ask Jason, or ask me. Can post a question to us. Yeah, resources is everywhere. But for me, okay, before I go further, right, after you read the secular book, make sure you align with the Bible. If it doesn't align, you clarify. Okay, you clarify. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
If you're not a reader, like me, okay, I like to watch videos on YouTube. Okay, I think there's this one guy is very good. I have been watching. You can go and search. It's actually the Dave Ramsey Show. Okay, and he is a very interesting guy, and he is a Christian, which I think I try my best to. I'm trying to pick up reading now, but all these I've been watching YouTube. So I mean, is you don't really just watch whatever content he has, but what is very interesting that people ask him questions, then he answers real life questions. So that gives you a very quick solution. Then what is even more interesting when you listen something you don't understand, because sometimes you don't know where to start from. Okay, when you watch videos like this, it triggers your curiosity. It helps you to look into a lot more things. For example, not just how Carlo was talking about cryptocurrency derivatives. You don't know what is cryptocurrency. So when people talk about that, then you go and then you pause the video, then add a tag cryptocurrency, then you start from your research from there. Many times, knowledge sparks from there. So you have to start doing something that interests you first, then you go deep into it. But I think reader is the best one. They can finish everything. So if you cannot go for YouTube, I think that's one of the fastest way to learn.
True. I'm a follower of Dave Ramsey also. Yeah. Okay. Totally agree with what Awante said. Yeah,
any more questions?
I have
any tough question.
I have a question, because you guys have been maybe earning quite a lot. So how do you guys differentiate being greedy and also having wisdom to multiply your resources? What is the balance? Yeah, so that's my question.
Yeah, Awante can share first.
Okay. I think people always always I ever hear this before from a pastor's son. Okay, he was criticizing, saying that how can a pastor drive a Lamborghini? Okay, he said that, and I was shocked. To be honest, I was shocked, and because to me, what he says is a pastor cannot be rich. Okay, people cannot have a lot of money. If you have a lot of money, you are not so-called holy. And I think we want to break that, because I think if you look at Proverbs, it talks about, Solomon was rich. If you look at Proverbs, having more money has nothing wrong. Again, it goes back to the bottom line, like I said. Are you using money to love people? Are you using people to love money? So again, like I said, it's like now you are managing your finance, you're making money, you're drinking bubble tea. Again, that's the fundamental. The fundamental there is still water. So never let that fundamental go away. So if you ask yourself, I always ask myself, like you were asking, I'm greedy, how do you balance wanting more money equates greedy, right? That is it. How to stop the balance there? So you have to ask yourself already. I think the most common traps when we fell into is like doing investment or going to stock trading. Many times it's like you don't even understand anymore. Then you just do it based on the trend. You just do it based on fear of missing out. You just do it based on there is no fundamentals anymore. Or even when you're doing business, you do it because there's just a profit. Then you just go for it. You ignore moral values. You ignore your Christian values. You ignore things. Then that is the time you have to be really, really, really careful. And I think one of the ways to stop this kind of thing from starting is having someone who is very accountable. You'll be accountable to this person and this person to be accountable to you. So meaning that if you are afraid, you're starting to get greedy, or you're afraid you're starting to do something that isn't right to make money, I suggest it's best if you can find some spiritual partner that you can be 100% truthful with and make him watch every of your move. Okay, so when you talk to him, you have to be 100% true with him, and you have to trust him, of course, and you make sure he can watch you. So something wrong, make sure you give the right for them to correct you, to bring you back, to pull you back. I think that is the most important thing about family in Christ. I think that's one of the way to, because if you ask greedy, very subjective also. It depends on what are you on. Never go away from the biblical principle, I say.
Yeah, very right. I think, okay, I always say something like this. We never say today we are perfect one. I will never claim that I'm not greedy. I will never use that words one. I will never use that words. I will always say that I will always greedy one. I always greedy. I know I will fall one. Okay, because the day you say that you're perfect, the day you say that I'm very generous, that's the day you fall. Okay, that's the day you say that. Because once you say that, oh, I'm perfect already. I no need to change already. Wow, for me that's very, very dangerous. I always want to say I'm very weak man. I'm very weak. I'm very greedy one. Okay, and because I know my weaknesses, that will push me to be not greedy. If suddenly today I say, where go greedy? Well, I don't dare to say like that one. I never say I'm humble one. I don't want to say I'm humble one. Once I say I'm humble, actually it's a very proud statement. You get what I mean? So I always want to be vulnerable so that God can protect me, right? Because this kind of money thing, today you earn 2,500. What will happen when you earn 25,000 later on, right? Then your hand will be you will hesitant already. So I always say, right, I'm greedy all the time. Therefore, God, I need you. I need you to protect me. Yeah. Then I always say this. How is your fellowship with the Holy Spirit? For me, the fellowship with the Holy Spirit is the most important thing. Maybe some of you just came back from the workshop just now, right? For me, right, everything that I do, I need to fellowship with the Holy Spirit things. Money is just one of the things. Whether I want to work, not work, make this decision, not make decision, because it's about make daily decision, right? How we handle money is about how we make daily decision. So before I make any small or big decision, I always fellowship with the Holy Spirit. I ask God, what should I do? God, what should I do? Everything. I ask God everything. If God say, give, I give. God say, don't give, I really don't give one, People pressure me to give, I also don't give one. Because Holy Spirit say, don't give. God have his own way. I will never understand God's way one. But so I fellowship with Holy Spirit first, because he is the ultimate counselor, right? So I follow his way first. Yeah.
Does that answer your question? Okay, that's good.
I think there's a question. It's a question in the chat room, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, someone say they want to buy a car within 1 to 2 years. Okay, I share my story. When I graduated, my first car is only 2,000 ringgit. Okay, my car is 2,000 ringgit. And it's a Toyota GL that time, 15 years ago. And I drive that car for 2 years, I think, 2 to 3 years. Right? Okay, I was in debt. My 2,000, I pay in 6 months, I didn't pay in full, I think pay in 6 months. One brother sell to me in 2 years. I mean, in 6 months, right? I pay off 2,000 divided by 300 ringgit. 300 ringgit, I pay. I tell you, what happened to me is that I saved a lot of money there. Right? But of course, there come a point, the maintenance become too high already. That's why I sold off, right? Then I changed to another small car. Right? And because of my decision, it saved me a lot of money. I use that money to invest. Okay, why people buy huge car, big car, and high expensive car? Because they do not have a plan. They do not know how to use their money. So for me, right, I tell you first, how do you plan to grow your money? Actually, once you ask a question, you will realize, right, one of the way to grow your money is either to do business or to invest. After that, you realize, right, hey, you need to put a lot of money in investment, After that, you realize, hey, I can put money in investment. Why I want to put so much money in the liability? It doesn't make sense, right? Once you have that mindset, bigger picture, you will know what to do with your car already. A lot of people, they do not know what to do with the investment. Therefore, they want to spend, they buy car, right? So start with a bigger picture, then you will know what to do with the car. I'm not saying you must buy a 2,000 car. I'm not saying like that. Start with a bigger picture first. How do you allocate your money for saving, for investment, for God's thing, for your car, for house, and like that? Start from a bigger picture, then you allocate. You don't immediately zoom. What car should I buy? Too niche already. Yeah, cannot like that. Yeah. Start from the saving, then the balance, only you buy the car. A lot of people buy that one, They buy a 700, they buy a car, they need to pay 700 to 1,000 per month. And they only earn 2,500. 50% go to car alone. No more money to buy a house already. Right? This is where the DSR bursts. So proper planning is about planning.
I think to add to that, you have to ask yourself, why is it necessary to need the car, to get the car, and what do you need the car for? You get what I mean? Because let's say if you're staying in KL, I don't think it's necessary to get a car, right? If everything is accessible by your public transport, I think that's the thing. That's the luxury we don't have in Kuching. I think you really have to ask yourself again. If it's because of fear of missing out, because all your friends are getting car, then definitely that is not a good reason for you to get a car. And if you really know that you need a car now, and you are sure that this car can help you, and it's not a liability, it helps you to increase in your asset, or it helps you to increase in your income, it helps the ability to make more, then I think that becomes an investment. That is not an expenditure anymore. So I think ask yourself again.
We got 10 minutes left. We can have one more question. Yeah, one or two questions, depending on the speed.
You mentioned about investing, right? So where or which area we should be investing? I think I share a little bit first, then I'll let Carlo continue. You have to ask yourself first, before going into investment, do you have any debts first? Are you owing credit card? Are you having all this? If you have, clearing your credit card, that is the best investment you can have. You save, you make 18% already. If you don't have, then good lah. Do you have your emergency fund first? Is your budget all this properly done first? Then if yes, then investment, you can start looking into investment. Then, Carlo, where would you invest, or which area would you be investing?
Okay, yeah. Okay, before I answer that, right, I just want to clarify this one. I think similar question we asked just now. A lot of people confuse investment. This term investment, a lot of people confuse. A lot, I can tell you, a lot. They don't even understand what is investment. Today, I want to clear it. Investment is always for long-term one. Long-term. Stick into your mind, long-term, not short-term one. What do you mean by short-term? You buy a stock, you sell it next month. This is not investment already. This is trading. Clarify yourself, get yourself educated. What is trading? What is investment? For example, 5 years ago, KL and PJ, right? A lot of people flip property. flipping. Okay, how many have you heard of this word flipping? Flipping property. Okay, they buy a house. 6 months after that, they sell the house. This is not investment. This is trading. Trading property. Trading. Investment is you buy, you hold. Long-term one. Okay. So since the question is about investment, I'm going to talk more about investment now. Investment is for long-term, meaning you buy, right? You close eye for 10 years, 20 years one. Okay. Now, since you're going to close eye for 10, 20 years, wouldn't you want a very quality investment? You only want to put money in a very quality investment, right? So nowadays, a lot of people make a mistake. They buy a penny stock, 50-cent stock. 50-cent stock. They see, oh, today 50 cents, tomorrow become 1 ringgit. Or what? 100% growth in 1 week. I can make huge amount of money. Then in their heart, they think, okay, today I buy 50 cents, right? Next week I sell 1 ringgit. I put 10,000. Oh, 1 week I earn 10,000 already, you know. Forever I do like that, I don't need to work already. I can retire by 30 years old. The FIRE movement, they thought it doesn't work like that. Normally for investment, if it's like FD, okay today FD very bad, okay, 2.5% only FD. Okay, but it's always good to start from there. Okay, if you are not enough time to learn, okay, go for unit trust or maybe 6 to 7%, okay. Okay, maybe 6 to 7%, okay. Stock, okay, I always say 10 to 12%. So this is a long term, then you use compound interest to grow it. A lot of people, stock, every year 50% growth, that one not sustainable, I tell you. Not sustainable one. When you do projection, when you do calculation, go for 10, 20, 12% can already. Any extra is bonus. Because you must understand this. Okay, how many of you heard of this word called volatility before? Volatility. If you heard before, you say yes. 1, never heard before, type 0. Okay. So volatility means if that, for example, FD, when FD say 2.5%, right? The volatility is 0, you know. 0 means it's fixed one. But stock, when we say 12%, what it means for stock, the volatility is very high. For stock, for 12%, what it means is really, it can go up 12% in a year. It can also go down 12% in a year. Okay, this is what we call volatility, the standard deviation, the beta, we call it the beta. So be very understand this. There is a difference between return and expected return. A lot of people confuse. They thought that once they buy stock, confirm return 12%. No. There's a difference between return and expected return. When we say 12%, it's expected. Expect only. May not be realized one. Expect only. But when long term, normally, you can use. So that's why very important investment, go for long term. Okay, long term stock 12%, and also depend on market. So I would say when you do investment, the Bible also say, right, when you invest in 7 or 8 areas. Diversify. Diversify in what? Diversify. Okay, how many of you heard of this thing called asset allocation? Asset. Here before say yes, never heard before type 0. Asset allocation. Go and educate yourself. What does it mean by asset allocation? Okay, quickly in 1-2 minutes. Diversify yourself in different asset. Okay, different asset, meaning don't everything stock don't everything property because there is this thing called market rotation. How many heard before? If you heard before, type 1, never heard before, type 0. Market rotation, because market always change, right? This season is property. This season is stock. This season is gold. So try to allocate little bit. Right? So that you diversify. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Diversify. Right? That's why it's never about every 100% FD. It's never about 100% stock. It's never 100% property. Right? Allocate everything because market changes. When you put your money in different asset, right? You have opportunity all the time. All the time, you know. But if you all in into property, now property die already. Right? But will we recover? Of course, it will recover. No one knows when. Because we never predict the future. We want to diversify. Right? So start by asset allocation. Okay, say for example, when you buy stock also, but buy stock, don't buy one stock. Maybe buy 10 stock. Okay, but again, stock is a very active kind of thing. Ask yourself, do you have time enough? You have no time, no choice, right? Go for unit trust, but there's a caveat, you need to pay 3 to 5%. So this life, no free lunch one. You put a lot of effort, earn more return. Lesser effort because you're busy, you go for unit trust, then they take your commission. Okay, but it helps you, it helps you in saving your time. So it really depends what you want in life, right? Yeah. So So everything also need to learn a little bit, okay, so that you will not miss out. But step by step, for me, baby step. Start by FD. FD, a lot of people not educated one will know. Do you know the FD also got insurance one? So go and understand the insurance of FD. Not got insurance for FD one, you know. A lot of people do not understand this. They put all into FD. Also got FD also got risk, I tell you. Okay, so go and learn about those. Yeah, so something like that. Yeah, any more interesting question?
Time for one more last question. We will end at 12:45.
5 more minutes.
5 more minutes.
Yeah, any question about loan? Yeah, if
also
any more specific question about investment.
You guys are okay with private session, right? With the participant of the workshop.
Sorry?
You guys are okay for private session with the participant of this workshop, right?
Yeah, can.
So for those who want private session, you guys can contact me. I will sing for you guys. You guys can send to my email is here.
We'll take another question.
Oh, yeah, actually I do give.
Yeah, his line a bit tough.
I do give workshop for e-commerce before the law. In fact, all this talk to reach out to pre-believers lah. So I talk about how to set a blog, how to do e-commerce, Airbnb, a lot lah. So I'm not sure why you asked a question. If you want to join my workshop, right? This year we don't plan to do lah. Okay. In fact, this year we cancel. We do one day. Certain hope lah, right? To contact me personally, I can go through details with you. If you want, you can text me. I can. Sure. For join the workshop, you can text me. We actually have.
Kalau, you are lagging already.
Singing already.
Right. So you can join our group. Once we launch, right, you'll receive a notification inside your email one. You can join through Eventbrite. Okay, I think you guys are one of the smartest in the world already, because you get yourself in. Most people never get educated. So congratulations to you for joining this workshop, right? For me, very simple. 10% saving. 10% saving, settle that one first. Okay, Monday, set the standard instruction, right? So 10% build that emergency fund. Then after that, go for FD, unit trust, and stock. Okay. Property, a bit careful. Actually, a lot of people say now is the best time to buy property, but so again, no time to talk about it. But get yourself built for emergency fund, sinking fund, and then investment. That's the way to go. And then draw your budget. Oh, can't hear me. Internet poor. So 3 things I shared 3 things. Build your emergency fund, build your sinking fund. These 2 never settle, right? Never think about investment. Never think of, and investment lose everything. You expect to lose everything, man. You set the expectation right already.
Okay, so I think what Carlo was trying to say,
if you do
emergency
proper
and
research, very hard to lose quality investment.
Carlo, can you type it out? Because you are lagging. I think you need to type it out.
Okay. I believe Carlo was trying to say, building emergency fund and start to save your 10% first. And because if you can't do all this first, don't think about investment. Because I give you a very good example of what I did in the beginning, how I do it. First time, I don't even have my emergency fund yet. I don't even have any sinking fund yet. Then I straight go into stocks. Okay, I know a little bit about stocks. I wanted to do swing trading only. I don't want to trade. I did not want to go into long-term investment. I just want to make quick bucks. Okay, because of that, okay, I put all my money into it, even my savings. You know, I put 100%. On, if you ask me where did I have money, all my money is in investment, is in trading. So that was what I did. That is a very, very big mistake. And what happened was, I needed the money a few months later. But I was so I knew that investment, I knew that trading can make me money. Okay, I knew it. I know it will make me money, but at that time it was just negative. It was just down. But the thing is, because I needed the emergency fund, I needed money for, I can't remember what was it for. I needed lump sum of money. So I had to withdraw my investment, even though I know maybe 2 months later I'll be positive, I'll be making money or whatever. But the thing is, I did not have an emergency fund. I did not have a sinking fund. So I had to withdraw my trading out, even though at a loss, for that emergency. Okay, that was the biggest mistake that I've ever made. I think I made a loss about 2,000 plus ringgit over there because of that. If not, I could have made, if I have an emergency fund and I did my trading or my investment or whatever, it could have been something positive. So make sure you have your emergency fund first, and make sure you have your sinking fund. Make sure you have savings properly allocated before you go into investments, because you never know when the rainy days come. You never know. Today, expect you see the sunshine so big, afternoon raining, so you also don't know. You never know when is a COVID-20, COVID-21 come. You never know also. So it's very important to have your emergency fund, sinking fund, and your 10% savings safe. So if you ask how much should be emergency fund, how much should be in sinking fund, how much should be savings, only to say 10%. So emergency fund should be, you know, if you are under fixed salary, if you are under a very common job that you can find anywhere, usually people recommend 3 to 6 months is good enough. For self-employed variable income, usually I would recommend 6 to 12 months of income. Okay, but like I said, if you're in ONG, let's make it two years. I know it's not easy, but that is, I would say that's the thing you must have. It's like before building a building, you need to have foundation first. So that is the foundation that you must have first. So stop thinking. I mean, even if you have to starve yourself to make that emergency fund, do it. Okay, because before you have all this foundation, you talk about this building 20 floors, so nice, also useless. Okay, because you don't have that foundation. So it's very important to have these foundations before going into it. Okay, so yeah, I think you can see, yeah, you can see Carlo typing there. Okay, so emergency fund, sinking fund, and your savings.
Okay, Carlo, you good, Carlo?
Yeah, so my line not so good lah. So yeah, I type certain answer there lah. So you can go and check it out. Yeah, but again, all these are someone is asking me what is the saving account is good Actually, this is a financial product. Financial product always got promotion one. So every month you go to Ringgit Plus, go and check lor, right? Ringgit Plus always tell you what is the best saving account, right? Go and check lah. Every month they have offer one There's no straight answer.
Oh no.
Yeah. So every month they change. Every bank want to do business, right? This is the service they already offer. So be smart. Don't every month go and check, right? Don't always put in the Hong Leong, right? It's already Maybank there, right? Put inside there lah. Move only. You're not using it, you move only, then you go extra. Maybank today 1.5%. If suddenly Hong Leong 2%, why you still put in Maybank? Go and put in Hong Leong lah. So so this is last. I mean, I'm using Maybank. Okay, the 2% premium very high. I will never know, but of course I not practical also keep on opening new account in different bank right? So something like that, because we are very busy already. We got every day go and open account one. So got 1 or 2 is enough already lah. Just stick there lah. Don't need to touch the money. Focus on other things. Yeah. Some of this emergency account.
We can start this emergency fund. Yes. It's better if you don't have commitment yet, so you have a head start. The best way to build emergency fund is the first year of working, because you have no commitments. You're still staying with your parents. Even though if you fail, you fall back to your parents. It's the most easy. That's when the least people do it also lah. But do it before it gets tougher.
Okay. For those e-commerce, just to be very clear, this year I will not do one. This year I'm very busy. So next year I will consider doing it lah. Okay, I will share more, because e-commerce very huge topic. So if you want, you can contact me. Okay. But workshop wise, confirm will not do. But counseling, counseling immediate advice how to start now, right? Yeah, definitely. I can have 1 or 2 hours call with you, no issue, right? So yeah, you can WhatsApp me. Then after that, we can arrange a session. Okay. But if you're a sister, okay, I have this policy. I seldom do one brother with one sister. You get 2 sisters. Oh, a lot of girls fall in love with me. Don't joking. But I just want to set this kind of policy right. 2 sisters. Brother is okay. I seldom do 1 person sister. Okay. So ultimate basic, yes, I got some slide I can share to you, no issue. But all these slides sometimes a lot of practical question slide cannot answer one. So it's okay, I can do Zoom with you, no issue. Okay, any more?
Kalau they all keep asking like this, I think I will help you do a promo. I will liaise with you. They will send, because I got all the email. I'll just email to them. If they want to do anything about regarding your the expertise, right? Then they will contact you what they want. Because we are running out of time. I need to close the session, and the question is still coming. I must hold the time. So for you guys, their convenience, I will compile everything about what Carlo can offer, what Awante can offer, and I will email to you guys because I got your email. Is that okay? Is that alright? I'm so sorry because I need to close the session.